Well, it's going to be a different link, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right. I think it says we're back.
I
Not
see a
sure why
live
it kicked us
here.
off, but
Oh, yeah, there's like an hour-long one, a 4-minute one, and now an upcoming one.
yeah.
Okay, I'm seeing a new one. It's loading and working properly.
All right, cool. Well, I'll have to edit this in post. Looney. Or not Looney,
that's for
Mithril.
sure.
We'll blame Looney's rant. He took it offline. It was too intense. Mithril, what were you saying?
Do you want me to restart it or just pick up
No,
from
it's
where I left
just
off?
pick up where you left off. I'm gonna have to edit it anyway.
Cool. Anyway, after technical issues, what I was saying is that Western RPGs, a lot of them that were popular in the West, were playable on PC. These are your things. At the time, we were getting, Ultima, Wizardry, and then later stuff like Elder Scrolls and that. Whereas console RPGs, because consoles were marketed in the West towards children through things like Rob the Robot and whatnot, and trying to dodge the stigma of the console collapse of like the Atari era and whatnot, because consoles were basically marketed as toys initially. A lot of console RPGs that made it over here, you had two problems. One, a lot of the people playing them were children, and two,
I
a
was
lot of the
one of those
text,
children.
yeah, which is fine. No shade thrown. We were all kids. And then two, a lot of the text couldn't be fully translated, even if they had a good translation, because character limits, especially on stuff like the NES, were very limiting. Like the original Final Fantasy having only 4 character limit for names and spells and so many things.
Oh yeah, because 4 characters in Japan, you can do a lot, but not much with 4 characters in English.
Yeah, that plus the rental game culture and whatnot that we have here made it a lot so RPGs weren't as popular. They weren't as finished, not as many people finished them. And the people that did play them oftentimes were getting a little bit more confused, oftentimes because of the poor translation or because not understanding all of the complexities of what was trying to be explained or going on, because a lot of them were like not people were young. Younger kids were playing them. Some of them were able to figure it out, and some of them weren't. And
Dude,
so
I didn't learn to read from school. I already knew how to read thanks to Final Fantasy.
oh yeah, and I've learned how I boosted my reading significantly by playing Pokemon as a kid.
And I learned strategy. I learned how to manage resources from playing Final Fantasy, especially because that game was brutally difficult on what you needed to do to survive survive a dungeon. And honestly, I think so much of my own personality was shaped by what was necessary to strategize a plan how to beat dungeons in Final Fantasy 1.
Yeah. But there's also then forgive me if I'm overstepping this, but I've always felt like there are like multiple types of gamers in the West, and that like RPG and strategy gamers are built different, shall we say, and approach games differently and treat games differently, and it's definitely a niche
Yes.
out here at least.
There's a reason why I'm willing to play Dwarf Fortress.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think people who grew up on RPGs kind of have that different expectation for games, but people who maybe grew up on other types of games and maybe tried to dabble in RPGs, you can't really approach them the same way. It's not just like a pick up and play for however long. It's like, no, you need to sit and be immersed and talk to NPCs in towns and all these different things.
It's like reading a book, and people, not everyone's willing to play a game like reading a book. Like, lots of RPGs, people are like, I don't want to read a book. I want to play a video game. I'm like, but that's the best part of playing a video game is reading the book.
Exactly. And
Depends
so you get
upon the
this
book.
weird thing of, as they then made changes to RPGs to make them less books or make them less strategic or less whatever, to try and appeal to this theorized lower common denominator of player, they ended up losing out on a lot of the things like the grit and jank and whatever you would call it that made them appealing and attractive for the people who actually liked RPGs.
I have a whole rant that I'm not going to go on right now about FF16 and basically anything post FF10, just because they drift as they move further and further away from turn-based combat.
But yeah, this is why stuff like Mystic
post
Quest
9,
or the...
I would include 10 in that.
I don't think I would. Basically, for me, it's
shade at 10. I like to throw shade at 10.
For me, it's one Sakaguchi left.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a trend that's, as you've seen, started long before the things they claim to be of like why they're making the changes change and are different. But the fact that there is these changes to appeal to wider markets do affect core RPG players and leave them wanting.
Well, it's the classic problem of when you try and widen the base, there's always a chance that you lose your hardcore. And so there's all these trade-offs that you end up having to pay. And I think especially with the corporatization of video game development, they have definitely over the years fallen into a lot of those traps.
Though I do want to say what I find interesting is I didn't get into more Western style RPGs until I was older, but I really loved console RPGs. And I do wonder if there is something to it's easier for a child to get into an RPG on this NES or Super Nintendo than dealing with the whole PC setup. And
I was going to say the input is
wizardry.
Yeah, the input is much simpler. So
yeah, and to me, like, I mean, my goodness, in our old club, the most, my goodness, I started a debate that went to brownie proportions.
The brownie debate.
That requires a whole additional explanation that we don't have time for.
Right now.
We don't have time for. But I made an argument that I didn't, instead of calling it Western and Japanese RPGs, I wanted to call it PC and console RPGs, with the distinguishing factor being the control style, whether it was designed to be used with a D-pad or designed to use with keyboard and mouse. But boy, that started a fight. I did not expect the fight to be this big, but
welcome to the internet.
Yeah, seriously.
I think that was more true back in this era than it would eventually become. Like, talk about something like Skyrim, and it's like, that's built for controller first. But you talk about something like the old Ultima games where it's
it's funny because Skyrim I play on a mouse and keyboard because it's first person. But yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, it's like you talk about like the older Ultima games or something where it's like you have to like type in exactly what you're prompting for, what you're asking for, and all these different things. And it's like, okay. That really doesn't work on a controller.
And I did not like Ultimate Exodus. I mean, I played Ultimate Exodus on the NES, but I didn't actually like it the way I did like Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest and them. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's that porting of the openness of PC, of choice, to narrowing it down to the relative confined space of the console.
Yeah, well, and it gets to the heart of the. I mean, we've discussed this a time or two. The fact that limitations change how you do things, but sometimes it also changes it for the better, because it forces you to really hone down on what is actually the important thing here.
Yep.
Which
is, in good hands, limitations breed creativity. In poor hands, limitations just make a crippled product.
In poor hands, limitations just make limitations.
Limitations reveal how poor the hands are.
Ooh, I like that. But all right. Someone else. I'm having some issues over here. If you could, I see Revelations Persona. What is that?
Oh yeah. So that's Persona 1.
Ah,
the first Persona game. And that one is quite interesting.
Just watched a video on this today.
really?
Oh,
Okay.
really? So, my goodness, the American version. So, we were talking about.
It's wild what they changed.
Oh, it is absolutely wild. So what? Okay, we were just talking about Final Fantasy IV, where they wanted to make the game easier, right? Now this one is one technically they did want to make it. It's just stuck. Yeah, there we go. So it's actually playing. Okay, why is it skipping to the end? Whatever. I don't know why the video is playing.
Keep moving it.
Isn't playing.
There we
Gonna
go.
work now. Okay. So this game, I think they initially wanted to make it easier, but they failed. They failed miserably. What they did is they decreased the encounter rate, right? So
okay.
there's less
Seems
random
reasonable.
encounters. Seems reasonable. Problem is, they forgot to scale the rewards appropriately.
Ooh.
Oh, so you're just constantly under-leveled the entire time.
So you're constantly under-leveled, but it's also a Persona game.
It's
so,
literally the opposite of this podcast.
And well, I mean, people have played Persona 5. You capture personas, right?
That's the idea, yeah.
And it just then takes so much longer to find the personas you're trying to capture then?
Yes, so you have less opportunity to capture. And it's like Persona 5 actually was a return to Persona 1's style where you have to negotiate with the persona to have it join your party. Because 3 and 4 were a bit different in how you actually got there.
Yeah,
but
it's
as
more
we can see right now,
style.
this character, he is the most interesting change because Persona games take place in Japan.
Japanese high school.
But as you saw right there, you see Mark, who is this
he's
wearing
black.
a baseball cap, and he's black, right? He was not in the original game.
Are you saying there's not a lot of black people in Japan?
One sec, let me find
might just be the case.
Man,
but he's like,
I'm learning so much.
So in the original, he's a Japanese kid in a beanie, not a baseball cap. So one, they changed the encounter rate, but most importantly, they changed this character to be a completely different race to make it more American.
Yeah. They also changed most of the characters' names.
Oh,
which,
yeah.
I mean,
they went full Digimon with it.
Yeah.
They removed an
Except
entire
they left Yuki's
optional.
name Yuki. Go figure on that one.
Yeah. They removed an entire optional route that was admittedly not super well balanced or tested anyway, but that's another thing. They made a lot of various changes, and then they reverted them in the PSP version, I think.
Yeah. The PSP version's reverted, yeah.
Which is
sounds like a lot of choices are being made.
Yeah, I watched like a 3-hour retrospective on this game just today, and so it's all fresh in my mind, the various things they talked about them having changed.
Yeah. Well, for me, I actually play, like, I'm one of the few people that actually played this game, and this game is actually super expensive to get a hold of now. Like, I go to my local retro store, and I think it's like $200 to get the PlayStation game. I mean, heck, even the PSP one I think is over $100. I do have the PSP remake, but I
may or may not have spent more than that on games.
Borrowed it. I never actually beat this game because it is kind of hard, and there were a lot of themes I really liked about it, but there was, I don't know, the dungeons are kind of more dungeon crawler-y, which they dropped in the later Personas. Anyone who's played Persona 5 would know.
The bloodline that comes from wizardry is still very much alive in the dungeon design.
Yes. But it's interesting, though, for people who have played Persona 3 and 4 to realize how much 5 did kind of call back to Persona 1. Like the concept of having a gun as an alternate weapon for everyone.
Oh, did they not have guns in the other Persona games?
3 and 4 did not have guns, no.
despite 3 being the whole
Well, those
gun
were
activates persona.
evokers. Well, they had evokers, but you couldn't use them as a weapon other than to summon persona. It was just like in the other Persona games, pulling off the mask in 5 or the glasses in Persona 4. The guns in 3 were purely to cast spells, use your persona. But this game, it actually was a weapon you could shoot with, like in 5. And yeah, the negotiations with the persona to have them join your party, that's also a callback to that. So
that's weird. Just as someone who only has played 5, the concept of not having the negotiation, that's interesting.
I'm seeing this as well. They also palette shifted all the other characters they renamed to make them more white.
Yes,
because Yuki still has her original skin tone.
Because I think she's supposed to be like the Japanese person still.
Still Japanese.
Well, everyone else is now American in this one. So, yeah. I mean, this is one where they did the whole Phoenix Wright, this is in America, but, I mean, they ditched it.
Like, if you're...
My goodness. Persona 4 and 5, I don't know how you would try and say that's America.
I mean, it's a little bit like giving Joey Wheeler a Brooklyn accent.
Yes,
of localization.
I was hoping we would bring up Joey Wheeler.
I mean, I'm just gonna bring it up now very slightly because it's not really a game. But it's also like, I get it. If you're gonna localize, go whole hog, and this is they went all the whole 9 yards in this localization.
And every hog is here.
Yeah.
So yeah, when they localized this game, they pulled out all sorts of stops that are now the exact stops. People are like, please never do that again.
It's like, we're pulling out all the stops. Nowadays, leave a few of the stops in.
Yeah, I'm just rapidly slamming on the brakes, please.
So yeah, no, this topic has to have leaving out Persona 1 would be a mistake.
Well, that's the thing is like, because I never hear Persona 1 and 2 brought up, and so it's always made me curious. Like, oh, wonder why. And now I'm seeing a small potential reason.
3 and 4 really were when the series became like more of what it is modern and hit its stride, and it became more like well-known and popular. 1, it's still very much like, oh, this is a spin-off of SMT, and it's still very SMT.
Whereas now at this point, Persona is a bigger franchise than SMT.
And SMT is becoming more Persona.
In fact, 3, 4, and 5, I mean, I think the 1 and 2 had a different director, and they chose a different director for 3, 4, and 5, and he just knocked them out of the park. And when people think Persona, it's 3, 4, and 5.
I mean, it's what
I thought 1 still had Igor, but is this the Igor guy?
No, 1 does. This is a different guy.
Okay. It's been a long
He looks
time,
like a bad guy.
He does. Well, Igor looks like a bad guy, let's be honest.
Igor looks like something I don't even like. He looks like a child predator, let's be real. And I don't like him.
Yeah.
Which actually, given
welcome to the Velvet Room.
Yeah, that's okay. Never mind.
That was one thing that was weird about 5, where Igor went from having a really high, creepy voice to suddenly this deep, makes your room shake voice. Though the spoilers on there actually was a reason. So
that was I was about to say. I thought that was plot relevant. And was completely lost on me.
Yeah, but for me, I'm just like, all I know is I'm playing 5. I'm like, why is his voice just so dramatically deep compared to 4? Like, what the heck?
And the answer was he needed a lozenge.
Yes, correct.
But anyway, what was the other one here? There was one more I wanted to make sure we got to. Oh, Wild Guns.
Oh, was it Earthbound?
Yeah,
Wild Guns.
I was gonna say really quickly, another one where the game got harder was the Seventh Saga, which is Enix's RPG that's mode 7 heavy.
That's worth mentioning.
Yeah, because that localization, they made it harder because they made your levels scale. So like each level up, you got less stats, and
Rude.
So you'd have to grind more, which is rude. I can't remember if the encounter rate was the same or not, or if it actually was decreased. But problem is you have to fight your rival character at different points in the game, but they forgot to change the level scaling for your rival character. So if you actually grind too much, your rival character will be an unbeatable boss just because.
Is this a Super Scope game?
Are there? No, I don't think it's.
This is an arcades game that then got, or it's like arcade style.
Oh yeah, there is an arcade game. My local retro store, I can go play the arcade version of it.
Mm-hmm.
No, but
Sunset Riders.
While you were talking about Seventh Saga, though, this is what we should have up.
Oh, right.
Sure. Even though I'm mostly, done talking about it, but yeah, they just made the game far more difficult by making you essentially under-leveled. Well, your level's high enough, but your stats aren't. So this game was incredibly difficult because of that.
Jeez Louise.
Mm-hmm. That and the fact that you could sell a key item that could stop you.
I couldn't beat it on my... Well, I think that was the same in the Japanese version too, but...
right.
I was hard-locked in my save file, so I never beat it completely on my save file because I sold a key item that you needed to progress, and if you sold it, you're stuck.
And you are far from the only person who did that.
Oh, yeah?
That's a notorious problem that I've heard about.
Yeah. No, it happened to me. I did beat it by just using my my next-door neighbor's save file because we lent it to him, and he has a save file right at the end. Granted, he played a different character than I did because there's 7 campaigns in this game. That's why it's called the Seventh Saga.
Mm-hmm.
So I played as the robot, but I saw the ending of the demon because that's just what I could do.
Man, for a game this old, that's a lot of paths, actually.
Yeah.
Well, there were a few that did that. Seiken Densetsu 3 did that as well.
I'm sorry, I think you sneezed or something.
Seiken Densetsu 3, which is the third game in the Mana series.
Okay.
So there was Final Fantasy Adventure, which then became, was it just Adventure of Mana? I think is
Sword of Mana.
Sword of Mana, and then there was The Secret of Mana, and then Seiken Densetsu 3 was it Trials of Mana?
It's now called Trials of Mana, and that just recently happened in like the last few years.
Yeah. It took it literal decades before it got a
Correct.
Official.
Right.
But I'm happy about it. Like, people are still waiting on Mother 3, but people
are going to wait until that game till they die. Let's be real.
We got 2 versions of Trials of Mana because they remade Trials of Mana.
Yeah, they made a 3D version. I was going to finish the 2D version before moving to the 3D version, but the way they manage save files on that collection, yeah, you load a ROM. If you load a save state, it overwrites the save files that you saved at the save point, and that
got it.
That ruined my save file, which made me sad.
I know you said Sword of Mana, but I at first thought you said Sword of Mana. I'm like, that's a terrible name.
Sword.
Yes.
They weren't ready to commit yet, okay?
Yeah, I'm just like, come on, we need to make a decision here.
It's kind of mana, sort of mana,
And now I want that.
I would love a non-committal trilogy. Maybe sorta.
That's why that's why it was Final Fantasy Adventure, so it was only Sword of Mana.
Yep. Well done.
Man, I have never seen this before.
I do like the Mode 7 graphics for battle. It's kind of neat.
I'm impressed, frankly. Like,
Oh no, it was. I remember this one made a splash when it first.
This is Donkey Kong Country levels of like sprite work.
And, I mean, it looked very different than the Dragon Quest games they were making at the time. That's for sure.
Yes.
All right, I want to talk about one last one. Did I not get? I don't think I got footage for this. I'm gonna have to fix that.
Which one?
So we've talked about games made for America, and we've talked about games that like we had different translations. I want to talk about a game that is kind of about America, specifically the atomic age of America. I want to talk about Earthbound.
Yeah.
Because Earthbound is interesting. Oh, okay. We did have it in here. Okay.
I put it in.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay,
Wait, did
perfect.
I read that right? That's 1 day, 11 hours.
Yes.
I love it when YouTube does that.
But yeah, just a casual 35-hour video. But like everything about this screams 1950s Americana. Whilst also
They call it a long play.
yeah, well, yeah, super long play. While also being at the same time one of the most quintessentially strangely Japanese games at the same time. Because it uses the aesthetics of the era whilst having the Japanese attitude, and it makes it one of the most unique games in history.
Yep.
Yeah, though I will say, to have the 50s aesthetic, I actually think the original Mother 1, Earthbound 0, Earthbound Beginnings, whatever you want to call it, that one has far more of the 50s era than even this one, because one of the main characters looks like a greaser from Greece, like literally.
Okay.
To the point that I named him Fonz when I played it.
Because you have 4 letters.
Yep. But I mean, this one obviously, I don't know. I kind of view it as a little later than 50s, but it's still got a lot of that vibe to it.
Well, like it's honestly, it kind of branches with several eras and makes it look just sort of timeless.
Yeah, and it's one of those. It's on the nose. I mean, Eagle Land. I mean, come on.
What?
It's the quintessential like podunk little town into like big American city of 4 sides.
The town is literally named Podunk.
Yeah.
I thought it was named Donut.
It's nothing if not on the nose.
Oh no! What am I thinking? There's there's a town called Podunk. I can't remember. Oh well, maybe I'm mixing metaphors.
I was like, come on! Like Smash told me it was named Donut. Did Smash lie?
No, you're right. You're right.
Smash would never.
Person in the room who's like, actually, it's One-et. Yeah.
I will throw you off the blast zone.
I didn't say the one person was me.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
That's what it is. Podunk is a town in Mother 1.
Yeah.
That's why I got
okay.
mixed up.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right, Looney. Very
I'm like, as soon as you said, I'm like, I feel like he's right, but just the wrong game. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is the equivalent of One-It. And though Podunk actually is called America, not Eagle Land. Looking at the wiki.
Interesting.
The other thing that makes this game so unique is its pseudo isometric style. Cause it's not full on 45 degrees
angle.
Yeah,
it's
a form of like oblique.
It's like instead of a square grid, it's octagons.
It's the same angle used in Paperboy, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
now that you say that,
right.
it is. Those streets are exactly the angle.
Memories of getting run over by a random car.
And then a ghost attacking
you out of nowhere.
But this game is, first of all, the most unique HP system, I think, in RPG history.
Roll down HP. Like, once you get enough hit points for it to matter.
Yeah, I don't think Looney has any opinions on it, though.
Oh, I love it. I wish more games did it, actually. It's kind of a fun mechanic. especially with the enemies that will one-shot you, but if you kill them fast enough or heal yourself fast enough, you're okay. And the strategy of, I want to kill this enemy, is a self-destruct enemy, so I want it to kill it last. I don't know. I thought it was a cool system.
Also, if you notice the illustration style, it's very reminiscent of Peanuts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, totally. Mm-hmm. Down to the fact that there are no adults that you talk to directly. They're all either over the phone or like...
Well, no, there's cops.
I guess there are the cops.
You talk to your mom directly. It's just your dad that you only speak to over the phone.
Okay, true.
Which I mean, it's kind of more of a commentary. I mean, it's somewhat of a commentary on US, but I think it's more of a commentary on Japan than US, which is interesting. But I mean, it's Shigesato Itoi, so it's kind of like it's a mix of him, his thoughts, his commentary of Japan, but he's like projecting it onto America, and it's really interesting. And also, like, more on the nose. I mean, goodness, the Franklin badge, which, Benjamin Franklin and electricity.
Yeah.
Like,
well, but the thing is, this game is very... I was thinking a lot about this before the stream. Because, look, Japan and America have a very odd relationship because we were at war. A very rough one. Let's be real. That ended in that had war crimes on several areas and ended with 2 big war crimes that were so big that we decided to not do them again as sort of all the world. And then we occupied.
And somehow magically we're best friends now.
In many ways, yeah. But this is the thing that makes it so interesting because we occupied them. So our culture got exported to them. We talked about Coca-Cola. One of the big things is we brought television over and we localized some of our programs. One of those programs turned out to be very influential. It was the old Superman cartoons. And you look at those old Superman cartoons, the very early anime artists talked about watching those Superman cartoons and wanting to make stuff like that. So then they make anime. And then anime has been it keeps being ping pong back and forth because our generation
have Avatar.
A lot of the anime style was inspired by the Disney style of
yes,
like the big eyes and all
yes.
that. Like,
but like for example, if you're a fan of My Hero Academia, you can see those old Ari Fleischer Superman influence because his eyes are 100% the Ari Fleischer Superman closed eyes. And it's just because that's the idea of who is like the Superman American. It's that version of Superman for Japan because that was their first exposure to him. And so then anime gets ping-ponged over here. And then we see, like Baggins said, things like Avatar and Teen Titans, but we also have just everyone who is doing those web comics. And our cultures keep back and forthing with each other on, influencing each other in positive ways. And I feel like Earthbound as a series is sort of like like one of the purest expressions of that, where its DNA is so quintessentially tied to both countries.
Absolutely. Yeah. Which is interesting because it didn't do that well in the US initially, but now people love it. Like, I mean, goodness, the American critics hated the art style. They hated it. Absolutely hated it. They called it Bobby's World.
Well, and it makes sense for the time because that's when this game comes out smack dab in the middle of what we can call the Attitude Era of gaming advertising. Yeah.
Yep.
And this is the opposite of Play It Loud. 93?
Which, I mean, the thing is they really tried to, make it Play It Loud by saying, "Oh, this game stinks and it's a pile of puke." I mean, you do fight a pile of puke.
Yes.
But
and one of your characters is named Pooh.
Yes.
But he's a martial artist.
Yes.
But it's just one of those things that you look at it. It's very this game came out at the exact wrong time. First of all, our RPGs were always that era a bit of a stretch for the American audience. We just weren't as used to them in video games.
Unless they were me or Baggins.
Yeah, well, but we're talking about wider audience.
It was a niche.
Yes.
This game also, I'm going to say, struggles a lot early on gameplay-wise of you only have Ness for a very long time, and it's quite a struggle. It's like, if the vibes aren't carrying you through the first, like, I've heard, like, 20-ish% of the game, then it's going to be a rough experience. Like, until you get, like, a permanent party of, like, 3+. It's gonna be
we're 10 minutes into this. We're in 10 minutes into this game. We haven't done anything yet combat-wise at all. We haven't played
Correct.
yet.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of games.
You have to have just Ness to use the bicycle, and it was sad when I had to give up the bicycle.
But there were a lot of games that had long intros. I mean, like even as far as Twilight Princess, you know, like there was just part of, and I think part of that is just a cultural thing because, you know, people saying I don't want to play a book, I want to, you know, but there's a lot of storytelling that goes on in video games, and culturally they're different.
And there's a lot of storytelling that goes on nowadays in intros and whatnot, but back at the time there was not. It's like maybe at most a 5-minute scene. If you want more story, read the manual. The manual will have an intro story for you.
Well, and I think a lot of the reason that there's a lot of storytelling that goes on early now is because the kids of our generation, we'd buy a game, go home, and we'd be reading the manual on the way home, and that's where we're getting a lot of our intro story, and that's one of the reasons we're reading it so much. Well,
also as we got tutorials,
as we got older, you know, that people are just like, oh, they want more of this story, or we'll put in more story, and so, unfortunately, that, you know, kind of led to the demise of the instruction manual, which I loved the instruction manuals.
Oh, and now so much lore.
And now the story and lore and even the tutorial for how to play the game is just integrated into the game now.
It
simplifies things, but
it's better game design.
But now there's something we're missing.
Yeah,
we have lost something.
But you're right in terms of Earthbound is definitely, in a lot of ways, structurally ahead of its time.
Yeah, well, and then
it's so much more beloved now, but back then it's like has a cult following, and then a lot of people, you know, reviewers and whatnot at Contemporary that were just not fans of it.
Well, it goes back to the whole concept we talked about with Advance Wars. Some games just come out at the wrong time for various reasons.
Yeah, and like, for example, Earthbound Zero, Earthbound Beginnings, it never came out in the US, but did you know it actually was fully localized, ready to go? In fact, when the ROM of Earthbound Zero leaked, the person who did the localization saw it, played it, and said, yes, this is
the game I translated.
This is my translation. And I can tell you, the easiest way I can tell you is the original game did not have a dash button. I added it in. This ROM has it. And it's like, I had the cartridge ready. Someone dumped this from the actual cartridge prototype that we had.
Wow.
It's like that's really cool. He's like, but yeah, when I finished it, the Super Nintendo was coming out. They decided, nah, it's not the right time. They didn't release it. And yeah, so we didn't get Earthbound Beginnings.
13 minutes in to get to a fight, and we're beating up a dog.
And we still haven't gotten Mother 3.
Nope.
So much so, it's in claymation jokes now.
Who knows? Look. Nintendo's just sitting on that release Mother 3 ROM on Nintendo Switch Online.
It's their break in case of glass. If like we need to get
that was the joke for the Final Fantasy VII remake for years. It's Squaresoft's we need money, break in case of emergency.
They did need money, and they did break it in case of emergency.
We're not wrong. All right. Well, we've been at this a while. I'm gonna have to edit this. Great. All right. Let's. This has been a fun episode. I liked it. I'm planning on next week being our beach levels, get fully in the summer swing, but that might change maybe, but probably not. Anyway, Ludasar, would you like to promote anything?
Yes, actually. Since we didn't get to it, I would like to promote Wild Arms.
I just want to listen to this intro song.
The whistle?
Oh my goodness. The intro song is such a great song. I would actually do some of, when I had to log in my music practice for band, I would often just kind of play, instead of practicing the songs I'm supposed to, I would play along with this song because it was so good. This game, it's not really America, but it's got the Old West aesthetic, which they got from America. And this creator, he loves the Old West aesthetic, that he's made his own Kickstarter to make his own spiritual successor that's still got the, Old West theme and the whistling. And if you've ever watched Trigun, that's the feel they're going with. Trigun's also the Old West, and Wild Arms
110%
is the video game equivalent of Trigun, and I love it.
All right. Baggins, do you want to promote anything?
I'm going to promote Colin McGinnis. He is he's my current obsession right now. He's a musician, does a lot of D&D and Warhammer 40K themed songs. He does them in like Irish pub style, and he's got some shanties. The man has a vocal range. Anyway, just check it out. Fun stuff. Warning, if you are afraid of language, he does drop in some language, and
he's Irish.
Songs, but man, it's just a uplifting, fun, happy, just enjoyable stuff.
All right. Mithril.
Yeah. YouTube.com/MithralZenith. I just recently put out a video of a bit of a different sort, going through the Impressions Games City Builders. Caesar 3, Pharaoh, and Zeus and Poseidon. I grew up on them, was utterly confused about them as a child, played them as a teenager, was still not great at them. Playing them again as an adult. Caesar 3 still kicks my teeth in, but the other two were very fun. And so I made a video about it to justify my time playing, going back through and playing all of them again.
That's the great thing about being a YouTube video creator. You can claim you're doing work.
Yeah. And if you want to go and check it out, it's because my channel is mostly focused on not that. It's very not... doesn't have a ton of traction, but you know what? We take those. Sometimes you make a passion project just for yourself.
Exactly. That's why it's called that. All right. I'll promote a couple things. First of all, I'll promote Lunasar's wife, Lizzie Petrichor. She does shiny hunting. I'll promote myself, twitch.tv/splicestream, and I'll also promote SteamOS. I have now got it loaded on my secondary computer. Because the Steam machine proved to be more expensive than my budget. That meant I just had budget to improve my other PC, and it's running smoothly. And once I figure out how to get my XCOM save files transferred over there, may have accidentally ruined it all, but we'll see if I can navigate that. We'll be doing XCOM on that. So, and it also has 2 Rubber Duck Ghostbusters in it. Yeah, we do, and it's cooler and greener.